Welcome to The Explainer, where we break down big topics. So today, we're diving into one of nature's most incredible feats of engineering, the seed. And let me tell you, it's so much more than just a baby plant. It's a time capsule, a survival pod, and a blueprint for the future, all packed into one tiny little package.
So let's just jump right in. How on earth does something so small get ready to face, extreme dehydration, crazy temperature swings, and just the passage of time, all while protecting the most precious cargo imaginable? We're about to unpack the unbelievable microscopic engineering that makes this whole survival mission possible.
And it all starts right here. From just a couple of fertilized cells tucked away inside the parent plant, this incredibly complex process kicks off. What you're looking at is a total transformation from a simple zygote into a fully loaded seed, complete with an embryo, its own food supply, and a tough protective coat. This really is the story of that transformation, a high-stakes mission to get the next generation ready for its big journey.
Okay, so the mission begins right at the moment of conception, with this really unique event in the plant world called double fertilization. And this isn't just about making an embryo. No, it's about creating an embryo with its very own dedicated life support system from day one. This one process creates two totally distinct but related things. First up, you've got the embryo. That's the future plant itself, right? It contains the basic blueprint for its roots, its stem, and its leaves. But second, and this is just as important, you get the endosperm. You can almost think of it as the embryo's twin, created at the exact same moment for a very, very specific job.
So what is this endosperm? Well, it's basically a smart lunchbox. It's the super nutrient-rich tissue that wraps around the embryo and provides all the food it's going to need, both as it's developing and for those critical first moments when it finally starts to grow. Now, what's really fascinating here is that even though the embryo and endosperm are like genetic siblings, there's a crucial difference in their DNA.
And here's that key difference. The embryo, it has a standard 1-to-1 ratio of genes from its mother and father. Totally normal. But the endosperm gets a double dose of the mother's genes. It has a 2-to-1 maternal to paternal genome ratio. And trust me, this is no accident. This genetic imbalance is a huge deal, and it becomes incredibly important in a kind of family conflict we're going to see in just a bit.
All right, so the blueprint is set. Now let's move on to the next stage and see how the parent plant packs this just astonishingly sophisticated survival kit for the embryo's long and probably uncertain journey ahead.
And this kit is packed with incredible care. I mean, it's got all the high-energy food reserves, carbs, proteins, lipids, all stored away in special tissues. But beyond just food, the kit includes something even more critical for long-term survival, a team of molecular bodyguards. You know why? Because the most extreme challenge a seed faces isn't hunger, it's drying out.
To get into that state of suspended animation, the seed has to drop its internal water content to less than 10% humidity. Now, to put that in perspective, that level of dehydration would be absolutely destructive to pretty much any other living tissue. It would cause cells to collapse, proteins to just fall apart. So how in the world does the seed survive this?
It calls in those molecular bodyguards. The seed floods its cells with these specialized molecules, like LEA proteins, which kind of act like tiny sponges, buffering what little water is left and protecting the cell's structure. At the same time, you've got heat shock proteins acting like molecular chaperones, literally grabbing onto other essential proteins to stop them from unfolding and breaking under all that stress. It's a microscopic defense system against total annihilation.
So, who or what is actually running this whole complex operation of packing food and deploying bodyguards? Well, it's definitely not random. It's a precisely controlled program run by a whole network of genetic masterminds.
The entire maturation process, I'm talking everything from loading up on food to shutting down for dormancy, it's all orchestrated by this finely tuned dance between plant hormones and a master network of genes. This is the seed's internal mission control.
A major player in this whole system is the hormone abscisic acid, or ABA for short. You can think of ABA as the master switch for dormancy. When ABA levels rise, it's a signal to the embryo that says, hey, it's time to get ready for a long sleep, not to start sprouting. It basically slams the brakes on growth.
And this just shows you how clever the system is. ABA, along with another key player called DOG1, doesn't actually cause sleep directly. No, instead it works by blocking the very proteins that would otherwise wake the seed up.
It's this cool double negative system. By inhibiting the inhibitors, by blocking the wake-up crew, it makes sure the sleep command stays in effect.
But ABA doesn't work alone. Not at all. It's part of a much bigger command structure run by a group of 4 master genes known as the LAFL network. So if ABA is the master switch, you can think of the LAFL network as the entire operating system that runs the seed's whole pre-sleep program.
I mean, this network is the ultimate master programmer. Its to-do list is just staggering. It manages the packing of all that food, it activates the genes for our molecular bodyguards, it controls the ABA sleep signal, and it physically stops the embryo's growth so it doesn't sprout too early. It is in charge of pretty much every single critical step of this survival mission. But the mission has an unexpected wrinkle, a hidden drama that's playing out at the molecular level. It turns out there's a fundamental conflict of interest between the parents.
I know, it sounds a little counterintuitive, right? But it all boils down to a battle over a limited supply of resources. And this battle is fought genetically inside that unique tissue we were just talking about, the endosperm.
This whole idea is explained by something called the parental conflict theory. Think about it like this. The mother plant, she wants to conserve her energy and spread her resources out evenly among all her potential seeds. That way, she ensures that as many of her offspring as possible survive. The father, on the other hand, wants to funnel as many resources as possible to his specific offspring to give them the best possible head start, even if it's at the expense of their half-siblings. The battleground for this conflict is the genome itself, and the weapon is this fascinating process called epigenetic imprinting. Now, don't worry about all the crazy details in this diagram. The key idea is that both parents can attach these little molecular tags to their genes, and these tags act like on-off switches. This lets them control which of their genes are actually active in the offspring. And remember that unique 2-to-1 maternal genome ratio in the endosperm? Well, that gives the mother a huge advantage in this molecular fight. So, in this genetic tug-of-war, the maternal genome, which has the majority vote in the endosperm, uses its power to silence genes that promote aggressive growth. It's basically putting the brakes on the flow of nutrients. Meanwhile, the paternal genome is trying to push back, activating genes that encourage more nutrient flow to its offspring. It's this incredibly delicate balance, and if it gets tipped too far in either direction, the seed can actually fail. So, with its survival kit packed, its genetic programming complete, and its internal family conflicts all balanced out, the seed is finally ready for the mission's climax, entering the Great Pause. After getting rid of almost all of its water, the dry seed enters this profound state of dormancy. And this is true suspended animation. Metabolism slows to a near standstill. Gene expression just stops. For all practical purposes, time freezes for the embryo, allowing it to just wait for days, for years, sometimes for even centuries for the perfect conditions to finally wake up. And that's where we're going to leave our tiny survivalist, just poised and waiting. It's holding an entire life, a complete genetic legacy in suspended animation. The final question then is, what is that secret signal? What's the right combination of water or light or temperature that finally tells it the long wait is over and it's time to wake up? That, however, is a story for another explainer.